People tryna say I'm only in the meeting. Got a code with my dogs, can get in between. I can give them life, no more energy. Amen.
Welcome in, everybody. As you can see, it's just me. JJ cannot join today, but that doesn't mean we're not still smacking some parlays. I'm going to break everything down for you the same way we always do. Obviously, with no JJ, there's going to be less back and forth, but as always, you guys can engage with me in the chat, ask questions, argue with me, whatever you guys want. We got about 25-30 minutes before game time. That's plenty of time. So as always, you guys can see on the right-hand side, I'm going to start with the touchdown analysis. I'm going to break down the run game. I'm going to break down the pass game, open it up to some more Q&A, and then we're going to craft the parlay. For those who, I don't know if you guys can comment on Twitter or not. I know sometimes that is an issue. So if you can't, feel free to join on either Twitch or YouTube on the MCA account, and we'll get this thing rolling. So let's do this. I'll share my screen, and we'll start talking touchdowns first off. And how we doing? I see you guys in the chat. Appreciate you as always. This is what I'm looking for. All right, so with the touchdown analysis, this is 2024. Let me switch to 2025. What we do is we look at opponent touchdown percentage. What percentage of touchdowns our defense allowing to the pass or to the run? Because no matter how good or bad you are, whether you get blown out by 30 points or it's a close game and you lose by 2, there's usually touchdowns on the board. Unless you're the Minnesota Vikings, you score 0 today. But that's where we start off first. And we got the Broncos, we got the Commanders. So let's see where these teams rank. Denver, the 4th highest rushing touchdown percentage. So touchdowns against them, you're going to want to target the run game. For Washington, they're more middle of the pack, lean a little bit more towards passing touchdowns. So in that case, we're looking at Bo Nix and his passing touchdowns. Or if you're looking at the receiving game, we're looking at Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin. RJ Harvey likes to get involved in there as well. So me personally, I usually like to target the team I expect to win, which in this case would be the Broncos. I haven't checked the odds on Bo Nix passing touchdowns, but his over 1.5 passing touchdowns are probably the safest way to go. If we want to look into some more specifics in terms of some receivers, I can do that as well. Let me pull up a different tab on here that you guys have seen me pull up, where it's just looking at if you're allowing passing attempts in the red zone. Some defense allow more outside. Some people allow more to the tight ends. Some of them even allow a lot to the backfield. So that's where I like to pivot to once I decide I want to target the run game, or the run or pass game, I'll say. And we are on Washington. So Washington, when they get in the red zone, this is on fantasy points data. I'm always going to credit any source I'm using. This is a paid site. This is different from the one that's at the bottom, so ignore that. They do have features that I hope to add to our site one day, but this is a completely separate one, and there is a subscription, so I want to give them credit. But red zone target percentage, Washington ranks the 5th lowest in terms of targeting outside receivers, so we're not looking at Cortland Sutton. In the slot, they're 7th highest, so you're looking at Evan Ingram and Troy Franklin, really. Same with inline tight end. So yeah, those are the two you're going to look for, and the backfield is not targeted. So Troy Franklin and Evan Ingram are probably the ones to target. If we want to decide which one to target, that's something that I can pull up as well. So let's go to player, and I'll pull that up as well. You guys got some questions in the chat I can get to while I'm doing this. No, JJ, unfortunately not. Obviously, with the holidays, there's family in town, family involved. We couldn't get the schedules to line up as we would have wanted to, but I promise he'll be back. There's no bad blood here. RJ Harvey, 77.5 rush plus receive. RJ anytime touchdown at Broncos -2. There's a very real chance that ends up being the parlay, but we'll get to that in a second. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Let me pull up the red zone stuff. Inside the 20 and Broncos. And let's get this to load. Doc, what's good? Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Appreciate you, Alex. I hope everybody in here and yourself had a great Thanksgiving. Lord knows it's one of the few times a year where we both get to bet and also spend time with family at the same time. So can't complain about it. Relatively new here, but curious why we do this minutes before the game. I hardly got the bets in last week. It's really just Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays. Me and JJ will record in the morning, but then Sundays, there's games on all day, so we're watching that. Sometimes we try and get out and record early in the day or during the games, but we learned that people don't really watch the videos until 30, 45 minutes before the games when all the other games have already finished anyways. So we decided we'll do a stream anyways. It's easier for us. It's easier for everybody who wants to ask questions. So that's the way we do it. But back to the Broncos and the red zone usage. As we can see in terms of target percentage, it's very heavily Troy Franklin over Evan Ingram. So if we want to target touchdowns against the Commanders, we want to target passing touchdowns, we want to target the slot. And between Troy Franklin and Evan Ingram, it is Troy Franklin. So Troy Franklin is my favorite touchdown bet on the Broncos side. My next favorite one would just be Bo Nix passing touchdowns. On the Commanders side, I target whichever running back you want, probably, because Denver allows a high percentage of touchdowns against him to come in the running game. And I don't expect there to be like 3-4 touchdowns on the board. So I don't want to get into like 2+ passing touchdowns to Mariota and stuff like that. So Troy Franklin is probably my favorite one. All right. Let's get into the run game. And I'm just going to, this part's going to be relatively easy. It's good because we do have to be efficient. Commanders' run defense is not good. The only stat that they're not like bottom 5 in defending the run is success rate, which admittedly is an important stat when you want to look at running efficiency. That's how you kind of filter out the explosive plays or the ones that are stuck behind the line. It's like the nice balance. However, if you're also bottom 5 in yards per carry and stuff rate and explosive play rate, going against somebody like, sorry, dogs pushing on the door, going against somebody like RJ Harvey and that Broncos offense, it just has so many Joker type players where they're looking for that explosive play. Then yeah, that's a problem. And I will say the one thing, I'm a big RJ Harvey fan today. I thought he was good coming into the draft. I thought he went to the right place. I knew he was going to be stuck behind J.K. Dobbins. And then when J.K. Dobbins got injured the week before the bye, I was a little reluctant to trust RJ Harvey because I don't trust the coach. However, he got 61% rush attempt share, which is good. He got 40%, I think 40% route share, which is good. And that's coming off a week where I don't think they were ready. It wasn't planned for him to get that workload at that point in the season, but they had to once they figured out the J.K. Dobbins scenario. Now, he's still a second-round rookie. That's pretty high draft capital for a running back. He's looked good. The coaches haven't really said it. The only bad thing I've heard the coaches say about him is in the preseason, they said, oh, he bounces outside the low too often. That's a pretty common mistake, and they didn't say it as he sucks. It was something to work on. They like him. He's got juice. He's looked good. I think we see that 60% rush attempt share bump up to 70, 75. I think they give him the reins today, and this is a great matchup for it. So I'm a big RJ Harvey fan today. On the other side, the Washington side is not fun because Lord knows, nobody knows. Or not nobody knows what's going on, but there's nobody to target. Bill Krosky-Merritt, everybody got super excited about him. He's down to 28% rush attempt share, 27% snap share last week. Jeremy McNichols, how you doing? 25% snap share. We can get excited about Chris Rodriguez, right? I mean, you can. I'm not that excited about a 45% snap share. And it's not like the Denver matchup is not a good one either. So I'm staying away from everything Washington Commanders run game. If you want to bet on the Chris Rodriguez usage just because it appears that he's the lead back, you can. I'm not going to tell you not to. However, I'm not going to because a 45% rush share and a bad rushing matchup where I'm not even confident this team's going to be able to get consistent first downs, not exactly something I'm looking forward to do, especially when Surtain is back, which on the premise, yes, it hurts the pass game. Terry McLaurin's also back for the Commanders. So, maybe they lean into it more. But if they're not going to be completing passes, then I don't care. And also, ever since Mariota took over, their rush or their drop back rate over expectation in the gutter. It's like, you know how it was when Rico Dowdle was going for like 200 yards a game for the Panthers. It's lower than that right now. So I'm out. It's going to be bad matchup. Don't even know who's getting the usage. Don't know. They can't lean on it any more than they have been. And if they lean on it, it's not going to be efficient. It spells disaster for the Commanders' run game. Then let's get into the pass game, because we'll stick on the Commanders side because I already just kind of talked about it. We know Patrick Surtain is going to be back for the Broncos, which means they started out the season very heavy man coverage. Pat Surtain got injured. They leaned a lot more into the too high zone coverage looks. Surtain's back, which means they're probably going to go back to man coverage. We know they get pressure at the quarterback. How effective is Terry McLaurin going to be? I think he'll be better than he was to start the season. I will say that. However, I'm not expecting a lot against Surtain. So then that gets into Deebo Samuel, and he's been very touchdown dependent in terms of whether his stats in the week look good or not. I think he's going to have to be good, or else this isn't going to go well. Like I already talked about my concerns moving the ball or moving the chains. If Deebo's not going to do it, I don't think anybody's going to do it. Zach Ertz is cool. Not that interested in maybe 4 to 5 targets. As you guys can tell, I'm pretty down on the Commanders in this matchup, both offensively and defensively. I don't like it for them. On the Denver side, we got Cortland Sutton. We got Troy Franklin. We got Evan Ingram. The issue is Bo Nix sucks on the road. I can pull up the splits, but it's not friendly. So Bo Nix, home versus away this season. The stats are not good. I can tell you that much. Yards per attempt. I'll share my screen here as well so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Here we are. Yards per attempt. 6.5, which already is not good at home, down to 5.9 on the road. The touchdown interception ratio admittedly isn't horrible on the road. Touchdown percentage is not good. I'm going to tell you right now, his efficiency isn't good either. Like if you watch the tape, there's so many throws where you're like, I don't know how he missed on that one. So given those splits and given that the run game is going to be favorable anyways, I think it's going to be a lot of dinking and dunking and just leaning on the run game. Washington, I believe, is bad against the slot, but I can double check as I'm talking. But it's really just food everywhere. It's just a matter of what does the coach want to do. And we can pull up the pass rate over expected for the Broncos just to get an idea of what the mindset is. They're the 7th highest in terms of pass rate over expected. So they might still lean on the pass more than other teams. And maybe that keeps some guys playable. Personally, I'm a big Troy Franklin guy. I think his usage has been flying under the radar. It's been nothing crazy, but it's been like he's kind of the wide receiver one in this offense if you really look through those stats. All right, I think that's all I have to talk about here. We got a good 10-15 minutes before this game starts. Open it up to some Q&A, and then we'll make a nice little two parlays. We'll do a normal one and then a lotto. So any questions you guys have, put them in the chat, and I'll get to them. The first one I see here is, are we starting Troy Franklin or Stephon? Stephon who? Am I tripping, guys? Am I blanking on somebody I shouldn't? Stephon, as in terms of Stephon Diggs, like tomorrow? I assume that's can't be a Stephon in this game. Yeah, Diggs. Okay, I thought he was asking about somebody in this game. I was like, am I forgetting somebody? Actually, I can say with confidence, I think I'm taking Troy Franklin because I need to see what the Patriots look like without Will Campbell. Because I think that I'm not saying it's going to make a big difference. I think it could potentially make a big difference, and I want to see what it looks like first. So I'm a lot more confident in Troy Franklin in a good matchup, even if it's not the game script you want for passing. I think you're going to have the same game script issues with Diggs, and Will Campbell might be an issue here. So I'll take Troy Franklin. RJ Harvey over 12.5 rush attempts. Love it. I'm on his rushing plus receiving. I'm big on RJ Harvey today. Purdy or Drake May? Purdy already played today. So if we're talking fantasy starting, you don't have a choice. It has to be Drake May. If we're talking about going forward, I might take Purdy just because you had, like, if they lean into the run, it's still 7 pass attempts to Christian McCaffrey, and you get a little bit more touchdown upside for now. Last leg, Archie Harvey for a 4-man touchdown cash out of 7x or risk and cash 14x. I let it ride. Usually my rule on cash outs is unless it is life-changing money where it's like when people pick for like Super Bowl, World Series, all that stuff winners, and it's to win like 500K, then yeah, cash out, because the odds of you being in that scenario again are so low. But if you just made a 4-man touchdown parlay, unless you're really hurting for money, which you don't have to tell me if you are, I'm not trying to pocket watch, unless you're really hurting for money, don't do it, because it's generally a bad value move. The books are not giving you the cash out because it's good for you. They're doing it because it's good for them in the long term. And if you're going to end up in that scenario again, then that's kind of what they're hoping for. Mariota, 150 passing yards. I mean, he should get it because the game script and the matchup should force it to happen. I'm not like, if it's already in your parlay, you should feel fine. If it's not already in your parlay, I wouldn't add it. That's not something I'm excited to sweat out. Just because, again, if you can't even move the sticks, if every drive is being like 2 minutes or less, and you're not completing passes, I don't want it. All right, let's get into this parlay. I'm very, very heavy on the Broncos. I think they should be favored by like 10 points. They're favored by 6.5. I'm going to check to make sure there's no systems that I have to worry about that I'm like, oh, they're 20-2 in this circumstance with this team coming off of a game where they score X amount of points. So I'm going to double check that. But barring some ridiculous system that I'm like, oh, I can't bet against that. I forgot they're after the bye too. Oh, I'm taking the Broncos. Likelihood of Commanders covering, I'd say 35%. I don't know the exact number in my head, but I don't know the exact number, like the projection and calculation. I'm saying off the top of my head, I can't imagine a good reason for the Broncos not to win by at least a touchdown. Obviously, it can happen. The primetime game, stupid fumble goes out of the back of the end zone or something, and the whole game changes. Obviously, stuff like that can happen. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody it's a lock. However, there's no aspect of this game that I'm like, yep, this is where the Commanders can get him. I don't see anything that they could get him. Mariota under 1.5 passing touchdowns. I do like that. I don't know. It depends on what the odds are, what the value is, but I do see the vision in that one. All right. So I don't see any systems I truly have to worry about. Home dogs on extended rest with low win rate, whatever the exact, at least 9 days rest, less than 40% win rate at home. Spread is 5.5 or worse. They're 41-11 against the spread. That's really the only one I have to worry about. However, with the other team having more rest than them coming off a bye, I don't think that concerns me. So I'm taking the Broncos -6. Let me see where the money splits are, because that's the only other concern. Oh, God. 90% of the money is on Broncos money line for the money line bets. The spread percentage is a bit better at 66%, but that's a tough one. That's a tough one to be on the same side of. Somebody's saying Commanders are winning. They might. Or not they might, but it's like, I could see why that would be good for the books. It almost makes me want to take a total. The Broncos are bad. I might. That 43.5 is also too low to take the under on, is the issue. I'm gonna trust my eyes. I'm gonna take Broncos spread. All right, let's go touchdown bets. Troy Franklin's my favorite one. He's +180. What's the passing touchdown props for Bo Nix? minus 120. What? I'll leave that one up to you guys. You can just type it in the chat and I'll count that as your vote. Bo Nix over 1.5 passing touchdowns at minus 120, or Troy Franklin anytime touchdown at plus 180. Roger's saying put it up the under. I'll tell you what, I'll do this. I'm gonna put an alt under on the regular parlay, and then in the lotto I'll choose a winner. So I'll do that. Let's do under 47.5 for the parlay. A lot of people are saying Bo, so that's what we'll do. Everybody's saying Bo. God damn. All right, this is going to be some nice reverse correlation then. All right, and then our favorite prop. My favorite one is probably RJ Harvey. I could make the argument for Debo receptions. I can make the argument for, we already put up the vote. I was going to say we could do, what's his face, under passing touchdowns. Marcus Mariota under 0.5 or 1. Oh, that's minus 265. Oh, we're not doing that. Why is Bo scary? He just decides sometimes that he just doesn't want to play football very well or throw the football very well. That's really the only concern. So yeah, Troy Franklin overs, RJ Harvey overs, Terry McLaurin unders. What's his line at? 39.5. It's tight, but I see it. And I think those are the three that I'd consider. So I'll leave that one up to a vote as well. RJ Harvey rush plus receiving, Troy Franklin over receiving, or Terry McLaurin under receiving. Put your favorite one in the chat, and that's going to be the last leg of the parlay. What do we like tonight? So right now we're on, this parlay is going to consist of under 47.5, Bo Nix over 1.5 passing touchdowns. We get a little reverse correlation in there. And we're voting on the last one right now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 on Harvey, 1, 2, 3, 4 on Franklin. No, 5 on Franklin. Let's do Franklin. I'm going to take it down to 40 plus, since this is the safer of the two parlays, I'll say. And that seems to be the one you guys want to go with instead. So I'll type the play in the chat while I lock it in. Under 47.5. Bo Nix over 1.5 pass touchdowns. Franklin 40 plus receiving yards. Plus 390 DK without boost. So that's on the screen. I'll lock this in and get it, the actual slip itself on my screen. Let's see what boost we get for this game. Able to put a picture of the slip up. Working on it right now. Don't you worry. Oh, we get a 30% boost. Nice. No, why is it a $5 max? That's quite frustrating. All right. Well, I'm going to put the $5 max, and I'm probably going to lock in another 1/5 of a unit on it as well. Thoughts on Pat Bryant ladder? If I'm betting Pat Bryant, I'm putting it a ladder in. If that makes sense. Like, I think he's either going for like 40 or like 10. All right, we got the picture shared with my computer. And on the screen, let me get the screen share back up. Here we go. There it is. And how many units? So I'm going to have a total of 0.25 on it. I'm maxed out on the boost at 0.05, so I'm adding a little bit extra. And then, honestly, this is a bad enough game. I don't think I want a lotto. I think I'm just settling with this. But any other questions in the chat, feel free to ask. Can we please get these a little sooner? My book is closing markets. Can we live bet? I think is the question then. I know, I mean, this is a pre-game type of live stream, so I know it ends up being a little tight. I think the hope, at least for me and the way I'm doing it, is that if people are listening, then they have an idea of what's going to be put in even before it's actually locked in. But I understand the concern, so I do apologize. I think what we'll probably do next time is, instead of doing 7:40, I'll probably try and start at like 7:15. Got a little bit behind today because I was trying to see if I could find a second guest with JJ not being able to do it. But that's not on you guys. That's on me. So I do apologize. I think adding Harvey rush plus receive is good. I do. You guys know I love Harvey props today. We left Franklin up to a vote. So community decision, but I'm completely on the Harvey train today. I promise you. Do we like Mariota under 1.5 passing touchdowns? Dude, I love it, but it's minus 270. That would be better. Don't want to nag. Love the streams plays. No, I appreciate you. And I'm not going to be somebody that's like, oh, no, this is the way we do it. Deal with it. Like, I do want to make sure everybody's happy. Obviously, we're doing this for you guys. But, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, I apologize. Don't worry about being a bother or anything like that. I completely hear you. Who do you fancy for a touchdown? My favorite three in order would be Troy Franklin, and then Bo Nix pass touchdowns we have in here. And then on the Commander side, it would probably be Chris Rodriguez. Any other? Oh, Moody over 1.5 field goals made. I haven't been as deep into touchdown props this year as I have in previous years, but there is one thing that I can look at. I'm gonna unshare my screen real quick. Or actually, hold on, I can just do it on a different tab, so I don't have to. Or no, I have to do it on this tab actually. All right, I'm gonna unshare my screen just for a second, just so I can pull up this other stat or this other tab that I think is pretty useful for this sort of thing. All right, here we go. So field goals per drive for offenses, we can see neither team is that high unless I've missed one. Washington's down here, Denver's down here. So offensively, there's not much to love. And then defensively, oh, they both rank really high defensively. So this could be a get right spot for both field goal kickers in this one. So it is worth a sprinkle. I'll get the parlay back up here for you guys. Are you doing the lotto one? I was going to, but this game is so ugly that I don't think I want to. It would just be forcing it at this point. If you wanted one, I'd do RJ Harvey like 100 plus total yards, Broncos spread, and Troy Franklin touchdown. That's how I'd go about it. Mariota under 32.5 longest pass. I do really like that, actually. It's kind of a low number, but like I said, they really just don't want to throw the ball, and I don't like the matchup down the field at all. So I think that's a really sharp look, Mark. Franklin touchdown, yeah. I really like Franklin touchdown in this one. I think that's going to be one. I think I'm going to put it as first touchdown bet, like on the side, because obviously I don't post first touchdown bets. I think those are the most high variance props you could ask for. Touchdown props in itself are already high variance, so you don't want to ask for more. But yeah, that's where I stand on it. Cavs down 2. Well, in that case, I'm gonna have to sign off and make sure I go watch the ending of that, because I definitely didn't live bet the Cavs when they were down by 20. You guys know I live bet the Cavs. Do it every time. All right, any other questions before I sign off? If there's not, quick reminder, you guys know we use the website to basically find all of our picks. Since we released it earlier this week, I've had one of my better weeks. The Lord knows I had a very slow start to the season. It was really like one or two just disastrous weeks that put me behind the 8 ball. But ever since the website launched, I've been using it more and more. it's the results have come with it, and I want to share it with you guys. So scan that QR code on the bottom right. You get a free week trial. If you want the free week trial, that's been a common misconception. Don't click the free plan. The free plan is going to be accessible no matter when you do it. The free trial applies to either the $20 plan or the $50 plan. You don't get charged for the first week. So if you click the $50 plan, you won't get charged until a week later. If you cancel it before that week is over, you won't get charged. That's how the trial works. So I need to find a way to be more clear about that. But if you do scan that code and join, that's how you activate the free trial to make sure you get the whole site. I'm trying to make a parlay on Prize Picks. Who should I pair Bo Nix and Troy Franklin with? I would say either Deebo Samuel receptions or Terry McLaurin under receiving yards. Or Mariota under 32.5 longest pass. I like that as well. RJ first touchdown. I think I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on RJ and a little bit on Troy Franklin. I'll do that right now, actually. Let's see what the odds are. Plus 575. Damn, those are the two highest ones. I would not have expected that. I'm doing probably like 20 on Troy Franklin. I'll do like 10 on RJ Harvey. Quarter unit. Yeah, I did a quarter unit on it. I was only allowed 0.05 units on the boost, and then if we're not doing a lotto, I need a little bit more skin in it, so another fifth of a unit. If I already clicked the free, is too late to change? No, you can upgrade at any point. Yeah, don't worry about that. You can upgrade at any point. If for whatever reason you get charged immediately and you didn't want to, just shoot me a DM. That's the beauty of it being my website. Is there's a problem, I'm obviously here for you guys. I can take care of all of it. For first touchdown, quarter unit. Yeah, I put quarter unit and RJ Harvey for a tenth of a unit. I'll do RJ Harvey. I'm locking that in right now. I get better odds than I thought I did. I'll do $15, so 0.15 units on RJ Harvey, quarter unit on Troy Franklin. But that's not official. That's just me having some extra fun in this game. All right, we're locked in. Any other questions, whether about this, whether it's about the site? I know it's minus 110, but do you like RJ Harvey touchdown? I do. RJ Harvey, whatever prop, if RJ Harvey's name is attached to it, I like it, I promise you. Trying to think. Like and subscribe on Twitch and YouTube if you haven't already. Obviously, it's just me this time, but usually I'm with JJ. Promise it's a lot more interesting. Promise a lot more interesting when you got me and JJ. Both sharing sharp things, both arguing with each other. It's a lot more fun. Can you send a link? I can't scan the QR. Yeah, just shoot me a DM on Twitter. I promise I can send it immediately. Don't worry about that. We just rocking with this life for the game tonight. Yeah, it's just this one. Usually we do a lotto as well, but just this is an ugly game. My lotto would literally just be Broncos minus 19.5, Troy Franklin touchdown, RJ Harvey touchdown, and it wouldn't even have value. But like in terms of my analysis, that's where my mind is on this game. I don't think it's like, granted, SGPs in general are not normally plus EV unless you're super sharp with it, or unless you apply a boost, which I did with this one. But this is an ugly enough game where I kind of I'm good with this. Thoughts on the Giants game tomorrow? Me and JJ are going to get on a video tomorrow morning and break that whole game down. I think it's going to be closer than people think. I think the Giants defense is not starting to come along, but they're not the embarrassment they used to be. And with Will Campbell being out for the Patriots, I think that's more significant than people realize. So I'm curious to see the dynamic there. Jackson Dart's going to come back. We know that that's a big addition for them. Tyrone Tracy has actually looked solid the last couple games since the new OC came in. So I'm more optimistic about the Giants than I think I would have expected to be this week. And although the Patriots are clearly the better team and I'm not expecting them to lose, I think there's a higher chance of it happening than most people seem to realize. Like I don't know what the spread is of that game right now. I can check. But I think the Broncos should be favored by more today than the Patriots are tomorrow. Yeah, Patriots are -7. Broncos today are -5.5. I think that should be flipped. I actually think the Broncos should be -8.5, 9.5. I think Patriots should probably be like -5. Henderson game, in my opinion, I mean, we just saw what Jahmyr Gibbs did, so I don't blame you. Giants going to give them a challenge. It ain't going to be a blowout. I agree. And I think because Drake May was so good over that one stretch of games, but like with the Bills and that whole series, and then had some cupcake matchups after that, I think the Patriots are good. I think people are already putting them on a pedestal that I don't think they've entirely belong on. Like they've proved it, but I don't think they should be considered like one of the top dogs by any means. So that's where I stand on it. What was the Pritchard has 40? I need to see. Oh, we're down 2. Oh, Jesus. That's going to be a sweat. All right, the game just kicked off, so I'm going to let you guys go. Please tune into the game or the video me and JJ do tomorrow where we break down the whole game. Otherwise, good luck on your slips. Good luck on this slip if you tailed. And let's make some money. Take care, everybody. Good luck. Appreciate everybody for tuning in.